Jernica Quinones, what can you tell us about your book? We're at the book signing, where you've been signing books, taking pictures. So, what led up to this big day with your book?
Well, Angel, we meet again. What led me to bring the book? The book was actually typed up 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I had wanted to start finding healing in my journey in life. So I decided to write the book, but the book held like a lot of deep thoughts and a lot of things that I went through in my lifetime. So I held on to the book. And you know, throughout the years, my mom, she basically became my trigger through PTSD, and me and my mom had lived a life of separation. Like, I would do what she wanted me to do, but we weren't having a connection, and I wanted to stay as far away from her as possible. So it wasn't until I decided to go to therapy a few months ago that I in fact found out that I had PTSD, post-traumatic stress. And in fact, my mom was not, you know, the cause of everything that I went through in life, and she wasn't my trigger. And unfortunately, my mom passed away last year, so there's no words to describe, you know, what I've actually been through with her, and it not able to heal with her. So now I have to start my healing journey on my own. And I decided to release the book Era, which is E-R-A, called The Beginning. So this is the beginning of my life, and then it goes into 2 more books that will be released later on this year. So we start with the beginning.
That's awesome. You've been through a whole lot. I mean, gosh, how do you do it? I mean, how do you stay motivated? How do you keep everything together that you do? What's your advice? I mean, I know there's no secret, but what advice do you give to other people that are going through something traumatic? And how do you keep going? Because you've gone from 0 to 100 with your nonprofit organization, with the book. You're traveling to Louisiana.
Yeah.
You're working on 2 other books.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all I can say. How do you do it?
You know, I take one day at a time. One day at a time. In this world, in my life, you cannot move ahead because, like you said, I have a lot that's going on and a lot that I've been through. And you know, I even most people won't know this, but when I first found out that I had post-traumatic stress, I went through an identity crisis. I had to separate what happened and what was traumatic and what was me and how I wanted to change my life. And you know, it came to that I end up separating what could have been post-traumatic stress and what could have been me. And so I sat at home for a long time, and you know, through my dark days, and decided, you know what? What's really me is the go-getter. What's really me is the awareness. What really me is the person that wants to tell my story. So I have no choice but to get up and tell the people what happened to me and what childhood trauma can stem from, and give people post-traumatic stress. So I just decided to release the book. So you know, it took some time. It took, you know, shout out to my editor. We went back and forth. Shout out to the marketer. We went back and forth. You know, it took a couple of months to get to this book. So it took a lot of hustling. I say in my world, you're going to lose a lot of sleep some days, and some days you're going to have to sleep. But you have to remain focused. Remain focused, and always know that what you don't do today, you can always finish tomorrow.
So, with this book, I mean, it's out now, but you can get it on Amazon. My next question would be this is the beginning of the book, correct? Going back from to the beginning.
Yes.
So people that read the book, when can they expect the second book? Will it be another year or so?
Well, the next book I actually already wrote 2 paragraphs. So I am is in the works of it all. You'll have to remember I am a mother of 6. I am a nurse. I have a nonprofit organization, Rare Jewel nonprofit organization, and now I have the book. And working on the next book. I do want to release the next book as soon as possible. It is going to take me a few months to finish the book, but be expecting it to hit the Amazon and stores, and another book signing very close in the near future.
Going back to your beginning, was there any point where you where it was just hopeless for you, where you just lost hope? And if you were at that moment, how did you bring yourself back from it? Because other people will go through those moments where life gets too down, they feel hopeless and helpless. So have you ever reached that point where you just felt hopeless, and how did you bounce back from it?
Well, yes, I felt hopeless through all my childhood years, and the only time I ever really felt alive was when my mom had us performing. So I do talk about that in the book, about my mom putting us to perform and calling us Fly Girls. So we were known as the Fly Girls since we were very little, and that was the only time I ever really felt alive. And then I suffered from a lot from, by the time I hit teenage years of puberty, I suffered from suicidal ideations, and my mom could never figure it out. So then I went from suicidal ideations to being a rebel in the street. Didn't care if I lived or I died, because that's just how I felt. Then I was saved by pageantry. I was introduced to a woman named Miss Oliver, and she introduced me to pageants, and that was my outlet, because every time I went on stage and performed, for those seconds that I was performing, I didn't have to think about everything that I went through in my previous life, before then, and it basically put me on a stage, performing in front of people, and just wanting to stay focused on it. So that was like my breaking point of who I could be and who I was.
If you could come up with one word that would describe you, what would that word be?
Well, I originally used to call myself the bounce back girl, because no matter what I've been through, I always bounce back. Even if it was for a moment, I always bounce back. I always bounce back. Give me a couple of days, I'm gonna bounce back. So I started calling myself the bounce back girl, just to myself. But then later on, meeting Miss Oliver, she's like, you have to give the people what they want, Jernica. You're a mogul. You're a mogul. You're a queen. You're a mogul queen. And I was like, Miss Oliver, what are you talking about? And she was like, you're the mogul. You're the one that everybody is waiting to see. Go out there and perform your monologues. So I said, okay, Miss Oliver. So she used to always say, where's my mogul? Where's my mogul? So then now, I am, and forever will be, the mogul queen. As that's my Facebook following, that's all my followers, mogul queen. So now I will call myself the bounce back girl, better known as mogul queen.
And just again, I want to thank you for your time. The book signing has been wonderful again. For everybody, get the book. It's called Era the Beginning. You can get it on Amazon.
Yes.
And again, just want to thank you, because I remember before COVID, February 2020, you was talking about how you was going to make this book happen. And as a friend, I'm like, wow, it's happened. Like,
yes.
you did it. Congratulations. And we're both dressed like twins today.
I want to thank you so much, Angel, for meeting had me in a dark place. You know, me and Angel met in the ICU at Cooper Hospital after my daughter had just got trached and was vented and wasn't even breathing on her own. And we just had a conversation and he kept me company, and I did tell him that, you know, I started the nonprofit organization and then I was gonna do a book. So I just thank you very much, Angel, for accompanying me through this journey and just being a supportive friend throughout this time. You know, when they say that sometimes time really doesn't mean anything, that really is true, because in this short period of time that we have known each other, we have grown very, very closely. And I can't thank you enough for being here today with me in support of my book signing, and I'm sure there's many more to come.
Oh yes, and again, please get the book, Air at the Beginning. It's on Amazon, so you can get it now. It costs $19.95. So I just want to, again, thank you.